How to build a model steam engine, part 45. To start this episode, I'm going to show the parts that are left in the box. Some need machining, others don't, they're already finished. I'll go through a few of them so there can be no confusion. The gaskets are obvious, so I'll take those out of the picture. Before I do that though, I will show you the drawing. I've blurred it out because the drawing is copyright to Stuart Models. I'm now going to remove the gaskets and rearrange the parts. In this clip you can clearly see the two pairs of crosshead guides. And this is the valve fork on the end of the connecting rod, which in turn fits to the piston rod. As you can see, the connecting rod fork is bushed with phosphor bronze. I am actually going to drill the central block and thread it to take an oil cup. I think that would be a nice touch, because normally when you lubricate this area, the oil runs everywhere. And this is the piston and rod. The piston is fitted with a Viton O-ring, which is supplied with the kit. The manufacture of all these parts has been shown in previous episodes in the series. This, however, is something I'm not happy with. This looks like a brass block to me, and I think for the job it's going to be doing, I would prefer gunmetal. This is what the crosshead slippers are supposed to be machined from. This is the valve spindle drive block and the piece of metal which slides in the hole in the block. These are two important parts. The shaped part on the left is to make the valve spindle gland cover. I've already made the piston rod valve cover out of the exact same piece of metal that I cut from this one. I drilled and reamed a hole all the way through it, the same size as the valve spindle. Again, if you wish to see this in detail, please watch previous episodes. Now it's time to use my whetstone. First of all, I apply some 3-in-1 oil, and to start with, I'm working on the slide valve. All this needs is the face cleaning up. Every other part of it is okay. The whetstone is very flat and cleans parts very evenly. In this clip, I'm even cleaning around the edges. The next part to clean up is the valve block. It's easy to miss this in the kit. It's just a very tiny piece of brass. It's exactly the right size. All I need to do is drill a hole in this and thread it to match the thread on the valve spindle. I'll show that in a future video when I make the parts. This is very important. The drive block must not be a tight fit in the valve. If it is, you will get problems. The only thing that holds the valve against the port face is the pressure of the steam, and a tight drive block can prevent this from happening. I've heard it a lot. You put the air into the engine and it blows straight through to the exhaust. It's not the piston, it's the valve not being able to sit on the port face owing to it being stuck in the groove. While I'm removing the steam chest cover, I would just like to point out the way that I've made the steam inlet is supposed to be on the cover, but I don't like that, so I'm putting it in from the side, but it's not exactly in the middle. This was a mistake as I was trying to clear the centre stud, as you can see from this clip. You don't have to copy this method. You'll see how it develops in the rest of the series. All you have to do is follow the Stuart drawing, which shows the steam inlet fitting in the centre of the steam chest cover. The reason for doing it this way will become apparent when I've finished this engine. It's very easy to get the studs mixed up. There are 6 of them for the steam chest, and there are 4 more for the crosshead guides. The ones for the crosshead guides, however, are a bit longer, and you don't want to use them on the steam chest. Here you can see how bad it looks when I use the wrong combination. And this didn't work out either. I think the wrong studs have been put in this kit. Luckily, I have quite a lot of Stuart 7BA studs, so I selected 2 of the right length to replace the 2 that were in the kit that were unfortunately the wrong length. Here you can see the steam chest fitted with the slide valve in the centre. After the last couple of years in the workshop, the steam chest cover has become slightly rusty, and for that reason, once again, I'm using the whetstone to clean up the top surface. You need to use plenty of oil, and it takes quite a while. Be patient, and you will get a really good finish. After the job was done, I wiped away all of the residue from the top of the whetstone using a piece of kitchen towel. It's important to keep it clean. The nuts are not a good fit on the studs. It's as though the studs are not long enough, but I think it's because I left the steam chest cover a bit thick to try and match the look of the cylinder casting. This is no good at all and it looks terrible. I see it a lot on miniature steam engines. The nuts need to have part of the thread sticking out of the top. So the answer is simple. Turn the studs over. The thread on one end of these studs is much shorter than the other, so that's the one I would normally put the nut on. It makes it so all of the nuts are the same distance down the thread and looks a lot better. Top tip time. A good alternative is to actually fit the nut to the stud using Loctite 603. That way it always stays in the same place. From my experience, it's never a good idea to Loctite the stud into the cylinder block, because if it breaks, you do have a problem. But doing it this way converts the studs to very long bolts, which is very useful. I'll leave you with that thought. That's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.